Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. And now, celebrating 15 years of broadcasting, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, whether you're tuning in on the radio dial here in Yazoo City at WYAD 94.1 FM or online around the world. Thanks to WYADonline.com. We're glad to have all of you joining us as well. You know, we always try to share with you guys inspiring stories of individuals who've been able to overcome the odds, to be able to achieve success for themselves, but also, of course, be able to set a path out that other people can be able to follow. Our next guest has definitely been able to do that. We're excited to welcome Comelia Walker to our program today. Ms. Walker is someone who's been able to make a name for herself, not only, of course, in what she's been able to do for others, but also what she's done in her own life as well. We'll talk to her about that journey, what it's been like for her to be able to set goals for herself and to achieve them, as well as show other people what's possible for them. Ms. Walker, hello to you, and welcome to the program.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, look, I appreciate that, and we're glad to have you. So let's talk about this experience. I mean, for you to be able to look back at your life and what you've been able to do, Ms. Walker, what has it been like for you to do exactly what I said, to be able to have set goals for yourself and to see those goals achieved?
Well, for starters, it has been very hard. It has truly been a trial and a tribulation. But overall, it has been a journey. And through every step that I have taken to get this far, it has been rewarding. I don't regret any steps that I have taken. I don't regret any things that I have overcome. But I truly thank God that He allowed me to be one of the chosen people.
Right. So I think, you know, that exactly what you just shared is so important for our audience to know, Ms. Walker, because anything worth having, and we've all heard this, I mean, is going to come right with some work. Did you know going into pursuing your goals and dreams that it was not going to be easy, that there was going to be work that you were going to have to do to see those things happen?
Yes, sir. I did know it was going to be hard. Not once did I ever think it was going to be easy because I had a hard life. So when I say I had a hard life, my grandmother raised me, and I was the oldest of four. So to be the oldest of four, you have people looking up to you, and that itself is hard because you try to be as close to perfect as possible, knowing that no one is perfect, but you don't want to do anything wrongfully that they're going to look at and say, well, I can do it because you did it. Now you have someone else's life at stake because of a decision or a choice that you made, not thinking of them.
Right. And I think that is the big thing, right? I mean, to know that, other people are watching. So I guess an obvious question would be this, Ms. Walker, because there are a lot of people who will look at themselves, whether we're talking about those in Yazoo City on the radio here or those joining us outside the state of Mississippi. Sometimes people will look at where they're from. They'll look at their families. They'll look at the state they live in and say, you know, I can't do this because of where I live or where I come from. What made you say that you could?
Well, for starters, I'm from Canton, Mississippi, not very far from Yazoo City, Mississippi. And just like Yazoo City citizens may think, you know, when you come from somewhere small or somewhere that people title country, you're not good enough or you're not poised enough. But what made me think I could do it was because people are now wanting to see something different. They're not wanting to see what people may suggest or title the norm. We wanted to shift things and be able to relate to people that we see or even support. So that itself alone, I knew I could be the change that people sought out to seek, and I knew that I could fulfill whatever mission that they wanted me to fulfill or a mission that I wanted to fulfill myself.
Well, and I think that's the thing, to know what is possible for yourself. And I think the other big thing, and I noticed when I was prepping for the segment with you, Ms. Walker, is that you've been able to, make a name for yourself in a lot of different areas, right? Whether we're talking about an education or we're talking about what you've been able to do in an entrepreneurial standpoint. But I think the thing that really stands out, and people probably who know you a lot better than I've gotten to know you just from getting ready for this, is that you are a person who's able to do what you do with a smile. What is it that keeps you smiling?
Knowing that with all things, God makes it all possible. You know, I don't do anything to get accreditation or to even seek to be applauded. I only do it just to be able to touch at least one person in the audience. And with that, I've always touched at least one person, whether it be myself or another individual.
Right. And I think that's the great thing for sure. And I think, too, you've been able to surround yourself with people who are not only believing in you, but can push you. And I think this is such an important area, so I want to talk to you about association because, I think a lot of times when people look at where they are, it has a lot to do with who they choose to associate with. Mm-hmm. Did you know that you were going to have to be careful in that area and choose the right people if you wanted to succeed?
Yes, sir. That is a great component. Simply because, there's this saying that you are guilty by association.
Right.
So if you are surrounding yourself around people that cannot benefit you or push you to strive in an area in your life, how are you going to be able to move forward? But if everyone in your circle is benefiting you as far as being successful and going forward in life and the great aspects, whether it be just education or just making sure a citizen is taken care of or even just telling the students to go to school every day, that itself alone is making a change in the community. And when someone else sees that, they see greatness in you, which could also pose you for a greater opportunity. So you have to be mindful of what's around you and who's around you because you never know when you're going to need that person.
Right. That is so true. And I think that is so important for sure. So when you hear from people then about the impact that you are making on them just by your being who you are, how does that make you feel that just by living your life the way that you are making a difference for somebody else? Honestly,
it makes me feel like I'm actually seeking my purpose of being here on this earth. Everyone has their purpose, and oftentimes others may take longer to fulfill or figure out what their purpose is. But when someone comes to me and say, thank you for sharing that, or thank you for informing us of that, or thank you for helping me with this, that makes me feel like I'm a step closer to fulfilling my mission or purpose of being on this earth. And it just brings me so much joy because, again, I don't do it for credit. But when someone acknowledges the hard work that I'm putting forth in, it warms my heart. It really does.
Yeah. And I know it makes other people feel good as well. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, who's on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Ms. Comelia Walker to our program today. We're talking with her not only about the success she's been able to have, but also the example that she sets for others. And we're going to let you guys know as well how to stay connected with her. Now, you have a lot of different interests. One of those is fashion. And I think it goes into what you were mentioning earlier, Ms. Walker, and that is about the importance of pursuing your passion. When did you realize you had a passion for fashion?
Well, I realized I had a passion for fashion once I went to college. In high school and throughout my K-12 experience, we wore uniforms. And you always try to figure out ways around it or how to dress it up or dress it down or make it look different from everyone else. So when I got to college, I was able to express myself in fashion. And I always wanted to get something that no one else had to stand out. And ever since my freshman year of college, I've always just acknowledge what I wore, and I knew that your first appearance of someone looking at you would be what you have on. So I always wanted to stand out and make sure that I'm the one that's seen in the room when someone else approaches me.
Wow. And I think, again, that says a whole lot. And I think in by able to do that, of course, you not only are going to build your own confidence, but also, of course, it goes to what we were saying earlier. You're going to show other people what they can do, too. And I think, the confidence, though, is such an important part of this because one of the things that we both hear about, I'm sure, is that people don't do something because of fear. So how have you not allowed fear to stop you then in pursuing something that you want?
It's just like with fear, I act on fear. Fear is one of my motivational tools. So if I'm ever up against a task and I feel fear coming on to me, I know that this must be destined for me because fear is trying to distract me. So anytime anyone feels as if fear is going to stop them or maybe it's not a right time because I'm nervous about it or I'm scared about it, that's the perfect time because that's just the enemy trying to come and distract you. You can't really say that it's going to ever be a perfect time because each day something changes. Right. Each day your fear is only going to increase because the field or area you're trying to go in is only going to get more and more competitive. So whenever you want to act on something, regardless of how much fear you have, do it.
And I think that is so powerful, and that is so true. And I think, too, I like the fact that you talk about acting on it because, again, that is one of the things that so many people allow to stop them for sure. So you've been able to, as I mentioned, to be able to set goals for yourself. You've been able to achieve goals for yourself. What are some of the things that you were looking forward to doing?
Well, long term, one of my goals was to be a superintendent, as it still is. But ultimately, my goal is to be a motivational speaker worldwide. So the purpose of that is because when people speak the gospel over people, you reach so many people and you can impact them in so many ways. So if I can motivate you to go forward with something that you aspire to do in life, that alone is enough for me. So I would like to just go around the world and let people, encourage people and motivate them on whatever their success is and help them to believe in overnight success. Because believe it or not, something that takes place today could impact you on tomorrow. So if you have a greater day today, you can have an even greater day on tomorrow. So that's ultimately what I want to do in life.
Right. And do you find that with the more that you achieve, then the more that you want to do?
Yes, I do. So every day I get a new dream or I get a new goal, and every day I act on it. So I don't just let them sit there and let them become null and void. Regardless of how small it may be to me, I know one day it's going to become larger. And with that, I have to promote myself and support myself. I can't just expect everyone else to do it because self-support is the most essential tool and the most essential task in life for you to be able to get yourself out there. Right.
That's so true. You have to believe in yourself, and you can't expect other people to do it for you. The other thing that I noticed on your social media, and we're going to let our audience know, of course, how to stay connected with you, is that you love to give back. I noticed, that's one of the things that you've been known for doing is not only, of course, being able to achieve things yourself, but also giving back to the community, giving back to organizations that matter to you. Why has that been so important for you?
That has been so important because as a child, whenever someone did something for me, they never looked for anything in return. And I never understood why. But you have to be a service to people in order to be blessed. And you can't always look for anything in return because how are you truly being a blessing when you're expecting something back? So just to see people's faces and to know that they don't have to be in more depth with paying someone back for something that they did is just amazing, Yeah. And I just want to be able to see that smile and be the reason for that smile.
Wow. Well, I know you have brought smiles to a lot of people. I also noticed you like to dance, too. I mean, do you find that that's one of the things that you find joy in, too?
I do. Whenever you dance and you hear music, oftentimes when you're in a circle of people or you're in a crowd of people, everyone's laughing and smiling. And to be the life of the party or the life of the gathering is just so essential because no one wants to be around a lot of gloomy people. Yeah. And to be around a lot of energetic and fun people says a lot, So, I mean, you never know when your time is coming. So just to live every moment or every day with a smile and be the reason for those smiles with music and dancing. And, I mean, it keeps me youthful as well and keeps my bones and joints going. So, yes, sir, I love it.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, it definitely comes through, and I think, that is, again, one of the things that people love about you is that you're able to express yourself in so many different ways, for sure. And I think, too, it goes to what you were saying, again, no matter where you are from, no matter where you live or what your situation, you can be able to make a difference. And I think when people are able to embrace that, I mean, that is how you know that you are really able to make an impact. I want to talk about one more thing before we let you go here, Ms. Walker, and that is about what you mentioned about being a motivational speaker, being able to reach a larger audience. We know, of course, you're able to share your message just in the way that you live your life. But is that also what you want people to know is that, it doesn't mean that life is going to be perfect, but that you can be able to say something that will be able to encourage someone and empower someone?
Exactly. Life won't ever be perfect, With everything that you set out to do, there's going to come an obstacle where you're going to try to figure out, how do I get over this or how do I climb this? But with everything that you face, something is coming from that that's going to be worth it. You don't want to look at things and say, hey, this is my stop sign. This means that I have to turn around. No, this means that during this obstacle, you're going to learn something that's going to impact someone else, or it's going to bring someone along with you that you should have had with you all along. So it's just to encourage them to keep moving, regardless of whatever they may face in life. You may have to take a detour, or it may take you longer to get there, but you're going to get there. But you must have faith. You must have faith. And it's just to give them essential tools in life to just keep them motivated and not just take distractions as a reason for them stopping, you know?
Right. I think that's so important, and I think it's one of those things, again, that we cannot take for granted. Again, everyone, Miss Comelia Walker has been our guest for this segment. Miss Walker, really appreciate this time with you. We've been talking with her not only about the journey to doing what she loves, but also how she's been able to overcome challenges, be able to overcome the odds, and then, of course, be able to show other people what's possible for them, whether we're talking about in education as well as their entrepreneurial pursuits. And I think, too, when I was talking about you coming on the program, and I want to thank Mr. Joseph Thomas Jr. for setting up this chat with us for today. I think that the big takeaway from me, Ms. Walker, that I think men and women can take away from this is that, you can never dream too big. Is that one of the things that you would also agree?
That is absolutely correct. You can never. And when you dream, act on your dreams. Don't let them just be a dream.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think that's it. So, Ms. Walker, how can our audience stay connected with you?
Well, for starters, my Facebook or my social media accounts are, on Facebook is Comelia Walker, Comelia, Comelia, Walker, Walker. On Instagram is Comelia_Walker. And you can be sure to go to my website page and just stay up to date with any tools or anything that you may need. Also, I do tutor students. So if you're in college or if you have any kids, nieces, cousins that are in kindergarten to 12th grade, I am free to tutor them. My website is www.comeliawalker.com.
All right. So she's made it very easy for you guys. Again, everyone, ComeliaWalker.com is that website. For those who are joining us online on the WYAD Facebook page, we'll make sure that we put that website with the show notes for this segment. Ms. Walker, congratulations to you. I really appreciate this time and looking forward to having you come on the program again.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
You do the same thing. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. If you all came in late, you missed part of the conversation with Ms. Walker, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right as we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media site. So head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there too.